video regarding object-oriented programming, Unit 1. This is second part of that. Today we'll see functions. It is necessary but group of statement to perform certain task. Every C program has at least one function. It can have more functions also. At least one function means that is it has main, and we read the C program, C++ program from main, and main is also called as a function. It is also called as a function. Therefore, we say that is at least one function is required in C++ programming. Now we'll see the program code is divided into different functions for better management. That is, initially the function is declare, that is function declaration. Afterwards, after declaring the function, we have to write the body part, that is called as the definition of the function. The task which we have to perform is written in that particular function. And afterwards, we have to call that function. For calling, we can call the function if the function is in the same class. We doesn't have to create any object for calling that particular function. But if we call the function through main class or main function, then we have to create the object of that particular class, and then we can call that function by using the object of that class. We'll see in detail. First of all, we'll see the syntax of creating a function. Here we have initially we have to declaration part, that is declaring how we'll declare the function, that is return type, which can be an integer, float, anything, short, long, anything. So return type is very important. After return type, we write down the name of that function, and afterwards in brackets, simple normal brackets, we pass the parameters. It is not at all necessary to pass any parameter if you are return the function just for displaying the value. You doesn't have to pass that values over here. You will just directly call that variable. The second step is that definition of function, which we have seen earlier. The definition part means after declaration of function, we have to write down the body part of that function, which is the second step. And afterwards, the third step is calling the function. We'll see one example of function in C++. Here is a very simple program. Initially, these are the header file. After header file, we have declared one function, two functions, that is add. One is add and another one is subject. These are the two functions which we have declared, and this int is the return type of both the functions. We can change the return type also, and in brackets we are passing two parameters because for addition we need two, at least minimum two numbers, so we are passing two numbers and we are going to add these two numbers. Similarly, for subtraction, we are going to subtract two numbers. Now we'll come to main function. In main, I have declared the two variables which we are passing, that is integer a is 20 and b is 10. And for storing the result, I have declared one more variable which is called as c. Then this is cout, where the addition is, and now I'm calling that particular function by c is equal to add. In c is equal to add means I'm calling that function add. For that I'm passing the value a and b, which is a is 20 and b is 10, and the result should be stored in c. And then I'm displaying the cout, the what is the value of the addition or that particular function. The same thing is done for subtraction also. And after the main function, I'm declaring declaring the body part of that function. For first function, which is add, integer add, I'm passing two values a and b, integer c. There is no need again to write that int c, because we have already declared the integer as c in main function, where c is equal to a plus b and return c, because we have uh, to pass the value return type, that is integer. The return, we have to return some value after performing this function. So I have written return c, and the c is integer data type. Therefore, I have written here the return type as integer. So we are passing, after performing this function, we are passing the value of c to main function, and then we are displaying the value of c. And similarly is done for the subtract sub function also. And therefore, after addition, that is a plus 20 plus 10, we are getting addition as 30 and subtraction is 10. Now we'll see a very important topic of first unit, that is call by reference. Call by reference means uh, when we pass a parameter using a function, we pass just a value. We doesn't change or modify the value of that particular variable. In previous example, we have passed the integer a and b. We are not changing the values of a and b. The function is just calling that values, using that values, and it is performing some function. It is not changing the value. But by call by reference, in call by reference, we can actually change the value by calling its reference. Reference means we can say location or address of that particular variable. How that value is changed, we'll see one example. Initially, we'll see the example of call by value. We'll simply call the function, just what we have seen earlier. We are calling that function, and in that function we are using some variables, and we are calling that variables, and after calling we are just performing the operation on that variables. We are not changing the value of that variables. Here we'll see uh, we have created one function which is called as swap, and for swapping we are passing two integers, that is a and b. In main function, I've written that is a is equal to 10 and b is equal to 20. I'm displaying the values of a and b in next line, that is cout. Afterwards, I'm calling this function which we have declared earlier, which is swap. And we'll go to the function now, and we'll see in swapping integer c and integer d, then this value of a is equal to c and b is equal to d. Therefore, 10 and 20 is received by swap function, and afterwards I've declared one variable, that is int temp, which is used for swapping purpose. Now the value in c, that is 10, is passed into temp variable, and so the c is empty, and the value of d is passed into c, and d is again put into the temp variable. The temp variable is put into d. So we'll see we have displayed the original values over here of a and b, and after calling this swap function, we'll display again the values of a and b. We'll see that initially it was 10 and 20, and after swapping function is called, afterwards again it is 10 and 20. That doesn't mean that is there is any mistake or error in this particular function. The function written is absolutely correct, but still, as we are calling only the values, and we cannot change the values which we have seen in call by reference. By using call by reference, we can change the values, but here we are just calling the values, so we cannot change or modify the value of that particular variable. Therefore, the After swap function is called, then also the output remains the same, 10 and 20. Now we'll see the example of call by reference example. The same program I've taken, only the thing, the change is that here I'm using an ampersand for passing the values. Here in swap function also I'm using ampersand for passing the values, and this ampersand indicates that we are not passing the value now, we are passing the reference or the address of that variable. Now we, after calling the swap function, we can change, see, as the location is changed, therefore automatically the value will be changed. So therefore the original value, when we pass the values, we get 10 and 20, and after calling the swap function, the value is changed to 20 and 10. This is the meaning of call by reference. Now we'll see another topic, that is structure and classes. Here I'm displaying the difference between structure and classes. The structure and classes, in structure and classes, the members of structure are public by default. In class, the members are private by default. In structure, all the members are public. Private, public, and protected access specifiers are used in class. A small amount of data, which is very short data, is used in structure, and classes are used for large amount of data. They cannot be inherited. Structures cannot be inherited, but classes can be inherited. Structure cannot be null, means we have to pass certain value in structure, but classes, they can be null. Structure doesn't have any constructor or destructor, but classes consist of structures and destructures. Structure cannot be abstract, classes can be abstract. Method overriding is not possible in structure, but method overriding is possible in classes. Structure cannot contain volatile field, but the classes consist of volatile methods. And same, we can see the structure, example of structure and example of class. It is near about same. Only the thing, the keyword struct is used for structure, and keyword class is used for creating a class.